Welcome, everyone, to today's Flex webinar. I'm your host, Marcus Merritt. Now, this is still our same regular webinar series for what we call our Flex Enterprise customers, or the regular customers of Flex Rental Solutions. But in today's webinar, it is a little different. We are going to explain to those customers about our new product, Flex Asset Solutions. This was announced in a recent newsletter, and we've had some questions come in about it. And so I wanted to put out a topic aimed at our enterprise customers, but so they would understand what this product is. Okay. In general, I do want to state that this product is not designed for existing customers. It's not meant to be an add-on to you, other than a few features and functionality that in the process of developing this, we have added into the regular system. Those main things, and I've talked about them in some previous webinars, is depreciation, a better depreciation feature, and the scheduled maintenance feature. And I may not hit those as much because I have hit those in other webinars. Okay. The big thing that I kind of want to explain in this is first in here of kind of what is the point? Why did we come up with a Flex Asset Solution? And the key always in any time, a new product is you're trying to figure out what is the problem that we're trying to solve. Okay. The key thing is kind of two parts in this. We have had through the past, as we had originally just our regular Flex system for customers, and as we ran into customers, especially in a lot of school situations or house of worship situations, where they said, well, we don't really need the financials, but we want to better track our equipment. And that brought us to come up with the Flex GTS system, the Flex Gear Tracking system in there. But we've still also had some other customers where they've said, or other potential customers where they've said, I want to track my assets and know what we own, but we're not a rental business. I don't need to track always about where they're going to and coming back on a schedule. I just need to know where they are. Sometimes that means that they're just kind of permanently assigned to a place, but rather than having a complicated spreadsheet, I would rather have a nice software that I can easily find and filter and find where those items are. Whether that was in, a hospital, you could have items that are assigned to rooms or assigned to wards, okay? Or at the house of worship, maybe you are within a house of worship and a multiple different churches, and you're just trying to say, what gear do we have at church 1? What gear do we have at church 2? Etc. You're not so much about planning for rentals and projects, it's just knowing where your assets are. So that's a problem that we've seen, and that Flex didn't really match appropriately in the past. Okay. In the same thing as with many of you, I'm pretty sure most all of you, during COVID, we've had to look at the business and see, well, under this pandemic situation, when live events are not so possible, not so abundant, what can we do to pivot our business and not have everything into one basket? Again, similarly, so many of our customers have done things. You've pivoted to becoming masters of virtual meetings. I've seen a lot of our customers who have added install divisions. Okay, this is similarly a thing that we've said, hey, these customers that needed things that weren't so much on this event kind of thing, this rental, or what we even specifically think of as a calendar-based schedule for equipment, they still would need this information and this tracking even during the pandemic. And in some of this, they may actually need it more. A lot of more of a business situation have started to say, well, we're going to let all of our employees work from home, but I'm going to let them take a laptop, maybe a monitor or two. Maybe we let them, buy a desk. But technically, the company owns all of that, those items. And if for some reason the person chooses to leave, then we want to know what we had assigned to that person and be able to reclaim it to use it for a potential new employee rather than having to buy those items again. So that's kind of what we were trying to solve, what we were trying to do, and both helping us to not have all our eggs in one basket under the horrible situation that this continues, or that we have another similar kind of situation like this with the pandemic, and to find these other customers who had previously been asking for a product like this. So that's the key thing that Flex Asset is designed to take care of. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to show this a little bit. So the first thing you will notice here is that on the home screen, there isn't a calendar. Okay. Again, like we said, the key thing with this is not operating on a calendar type situation, a calendar schedule. We're not trying to figure out, oh, I have something coming up where equipment is going to go out and I need to double check, do I have it available? Can I solve that? It's much more of just an easier way to keep track of the picture of where is my gear right now, where is my equipment right now, and update that. Again, because it's more likely that I'm going to assign things. Now, I do want to state a thing in here, and I'll show you in just a moment, that I could still do a temporary assignment to something. Someone could say, hey, I'm working on this project and I need an extra monitor. I need something else. And it could still just be said, but I only need it for a month. And so we do have in here, you could have a set due date for return on an expected item. But you also could have other items where, again, you just say, this is an employee, here's their laptop, unless they quit or we decide we need to fire them, they have that item, okay? So on here, because we don't have the calendar, you'll see we have the quick link screen. And the key difference in this system is in this warehouse, this scan to contacts, okay? Where we have the ability in the system, and the core purpose of Flex Assets is to assign equipment or assets to people or places, okay? So in this example, let's use this first here, where we're gonna go on a place idea. Let's say in this, I have still a corporate office for my company, and there's a boardroom in there where we can sometimes have meetings, but I do let my employees work from home a lot, okay? Well, in that office of my Flex Rental Solutions business, oh, one moment, I gotta get my scanner working again. Oh, come on, there it goes. So I have, and I just for speed of this, have my numbers assigned to my companies, to my facilities, my offices, those kind of things in here. But I have the Flex Rental Solutions office in here. So I have the ability to scan that. Note that in here, you'll see I can also just search for this on here and find it that way, okay? Now, within this, similar to within Flex, if you know how the facilities function work, there is an ability to say where this item is. And so we could say, hey, this one is in the boardroom, okay? And so I can even narrow it down of where specifically, yes, it's in our Flex Rental Solutions office, but this is in the boardroom. And I want to state that we bought a nice new 4K TV. And so I have that item. Well, I gotta get my cursor in the right place because I don't have my. And so I've put that 75-inch TV that I put in my boardroom. And with that, we have both hooked up. We got a Mac Mini that we have hooked up to it. And I have an Apple TV that I have hooked up to it, okay? And that's what I have to run my boardroom. So now I have the ability to put those items and say where they are assigned. Like we said in this, now I don't have, I can update if I forget to, but also when I'm first putting an item, if it is that situation, as I said, where we're trying to put a return deadline, we can put a due date on it before I then scan the item in, and it will assign that due date to it. But again, a lot of these is like, no, this is just what's installed there. I don't expect this to change, but I want to know if someone comes back and wants to double check. Also, then I have more accurate information. Again, we're just trying to take the thing that Flex does really well of accurately tracking details about equipment, assets, items, whatever those things might be, and take them off of the spreadsheet and put them into a database that's easier to access, easier to filter, to dig through and find what other information we might need. Okay, so now that I've assigned this, you'll see that I could then go back to my contact, and this would be in what I have as my facilities, my Flex Rental Solutions here, and I can open it. And obviously here I can have the specifics of where this is located, what's going on, but I have my tab of the assets that are assigned to this location. So I can go to this to review what's going on here. And you'll see on this in the same point, if I needed to scan something else, if you go, oh, well, I know there's something else in there and it's not currently there, well, we can go find that item and I can quickly click to scan to contact to make that edit at that point, okay? In the same way, we can also assign things to people. So I'm gonna actually use the search for this one. We're gonna put for me that I have some items that have been assigned to me as I'm a new hire to this company. I'm allowed to work from home, and so they gave me some items for when I work from home here, okay? So then in the same way, we're gonna say on this that they provided me with 2 of these monitors, these LG 27-inch monitors. They provided me with a desk hand there. I've got, oh, there's my desk. And then I've got a printer. And amusingly, just to note, these are not actually the items in my office. They're different, but I do have very similar items in here in my office. And I have, because I am not a Mac person, I have, we'll say this, where's my Lenovo? There it is. I have, oh, my sheet is messing up here. I have, okay, it's not wanting to cooperate, so I'm just gonna type the number. I have this Lenovo laptop. It's in my office there. So I've been able to assign those items to me to keep track of where they are. In the same way, again, I can go back to the contacts. I can go and find in the employees, oh, there's me. And I can look and say, look, oh, that's my picture of my cat. That is the picture of me. And here we can see again what assets are assigned to me. Now on the same way, we can also go in the reverse and we could say, hey, I know we own some of these monitors. I want to double check where all of them are. So I can go find those 27-inch monitors. And when I go to these serial units, I can see that these ones are listed as Flex Rental Solutions, and it's not always the best, but this is basically they're sitting in storage. They're not assigned to anyone, whereas these are assigned to me. So in the same place in your system where you would see that it's assigned to a job X, job Y, whatever there. Now in this, again, it shows when we gave them to me, but because I didn't set a due date on it, they're not set to return. I could have set a due date and had a planned return, but very commonly in this kind of system, they're not going to have that kind of comeback, okay? Now, the one other big thing that I do want to just highlight in this is that there are some reports on this that are kind of more specific to this kind of thing. So we have in this asset assignment register that we can run. Now I can be specific to say, oh, I only want to know about a certain contact. Again, that's a good chance of someone decided they're going to quit. We're saying, hey, we wish you well, but we need to get back our items. So we go pull up this list and I want to know what they have. But I also could just say, I just want to double check and review what everybody has and kind of get an update on it. Now I can set this to say, include only past due of, hey, I just want to double check the things we need to chase down that we said people needed to return on those. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and generate it for the full thing. And I was not planning to do this. So, so we'll see in here that, again, the boardroom has this. We've got some things at this school or this church because we're doing different examples in here. And then down in here, we've got different employees. There's the items for me. Well, obviously see everything that's red, we had put a due date on and said we're expecting these back. And so that's helping to remind us which things we're needing to get back. Okay, so that's an example of one of the reports that is kind of specific to asset in this sort of assignment. We're just pulling anything that we have assigned to a person or a place, basically any kind of contact you may choose to put in here. And I have to change this. We can have that, okay? And so part of it is just about sort of thinking of things different. And like we see in this, and this is for the demo system that we use, we'd see in here it can be split up in all sorts of ways. You may just be thinking of just employees and the facilities or the buildings that things are being put in. It might instead you have, because it's a school, you've got administration, regular employees, and students. You're in a hospital, so there's just employees and facilities, or you're in a house of worship, and so there's ministry people, other staff or employees, volunteers, facilities. There's all sorts of ways that you could kind of put this. Again, it's kind of designed for those companies that need to track equipment, when they bought it, what they paid for it, how long they've had it, but then where is it located? Because they're not sitting in a warehouse going out and coming back on a calendar schedule, but instead they are just sitting somewhere. They're in someone's office at their home office because they're allowed to work from home. They're sitting in an office room within your building, but you want to know where that was kind of assigned, those sort of things. Now, the one other thing I want to bring up of why I did this webinar for you today is that, as I said at the beginning, this is not really meant for existing Flex customers most of the time. There may be some existing GTS customers that feel this fills their needs better. And if that is the case, please reach out to sales@flexrentalsolutions.com and we can discuss that with you. Okay? But what I do think is there may be a lot of you who your customers would have a use for this. So you may feel the need of, I work with this corporate business that I think, during the pandemic, they moved to sending a lot of people to work from home, and they might like to better track that equipment that they sent. Maybe they would like this. And the specific reason why I do that is because we have a referral program going on with this, okay? If you refer somebody and they make sure to mention you when they reach out to us to sign up, when they come out of trial and pay their first billing cycle, you as the referral company get $100 credit toward your next billing, okay? That is not limited to how many customers. There is no limit on that. You could have enough customers to pay for all of your next year's bills. We would love if you were able to do that, okay? So that's the one key thing. We want to make sure you're aware. And if you feel the need and you know of somebody who would find a value in this, please feel free to refer them and make sure they mention that you referred them. One other thing that I wanted to mention in this, and I maybe should have stated earlier, there are some existing customers who have asked and have been interested in basically what the scan to contact point is. In a small way, saying, hey, I have my 2040 employees. I assign them laptops, especially because they travel a lot, and I would like to be able to do that. To put this together quickly, kind of piggybacked and stole sort of some of the functionality internally, and so it's not simple to do that. But we do have an intention in the long run to get this to be a function that can be added to your systems at some point in the future, not anytime soon. So at the moment, if it's something you'd be interested in, it's a whole other system, and we apologize about that. But to be able to turn it fast, we kind of are piggybacking on some functionality, and it's not easy to add that into a regular system. And so that's a key thing. But in the future, we do have an intention of fixing that, of updating how that functionality is working so that it could be added into a full enterprise regular Flex system. But currently it is not. So again, I want to thank everyone for showing up today. As always, if you have additional questions, you can reach out to support@flexrentalsolutions.com or training@flexrentalsolutions.com. If you have ideas for future webinars, you can reach out to training@flexrentalsolutions.com. And if you have a personal interest in Flex assets or you know of customers, have them reach out to sales@flexrentalsolutions.com. Thank you.